Hey guys, it's me, Michaela Pink, and I'm back. But I'm back with a different video today. I want to talk about this whole hoopla, this whole conversation behind Miss Fantasia Barrino. So if you want to know my thoughts on her viral conversation that she had on the Breakfast Club, if you want to know what I think about what she said and how I feel about women being submissive to their husbands and things of that nature, stay tuned because I've been getting a lot of DMs from you guys. I've been, having a lot of requests that you guys want me to do a video on this topic. So we are gonna handle that today. So first things first, if you guys don't know me, I'm Michaela Pink and I am the head mistress of the Pink Print Academy. I have been on social media and making YouTube videos for a little while now, and I give my thoughts on relationships, the role of women in those relationships, what I think about the role of men in those relationships. And so I just started making a bunch of videos and put them on YouTube, and now we're here. So a lot of people will send me things in a DM and say, hey, what do you think about this? Have you heard about this? You need to do a video, blah, 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 blah. So I was in a Facebook group and I saw this post come up where people were mentioning that Fantasia Barrino said that women are supposed to submit to their husbands. And the whole thing just blew up and went viral. Now, if you don't know who Miss Fantasia is, I'm going to insert a clip here. She is the winner of the 2004 competition on American Idol. So I'm going to insert that clip of her so that you can kind of get some background of who she is. So as you can see, this lady has a voice from the heavens. Honey dipped, heaven kissed, beautiful, beautiful, amazing, amazing voice. She's been compared to the likes of Patti LaBelle and Aretha Franklin. She has a very just powerful voice. And of course, the little girl that was in competition against her didn't even have a prayer, but they let her go ahead and compete. So she has a beautiful voice. But as you know, where there is a strength in an area, there's also a deficiency in other areas, so to speak. So Miss Fantasia has had her fair share of relationship woes. She, has been transparent about her history. She's, basically her relationships have played out in front of the world. I mean, so she started off really poor, and she speaks about some sexual trauma that she had. She had a child very young, and she's just always had very bad luck in dating. So, she had a reality show with her family, which was a complete train wreck. All these people are just, bananas and nuts. But, we all gave her a pass because we all have those family members and stuff that are, not so ready for TV, shall I say. So we, watched that. And then she got with this guy. And I guess apparently he was married. And the lady sued her for breaking up her marriage. And it was just a whole bunch of stink, behind all of that. So, of course, people have labeled her, having being a pick me, and she's not, the best. She's an easy target. She was a single mom, and blah 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 blah. So people have basically labeled her as like, this crazy girl when it comes to dating. So then fast forward a little bit, she made a couple of, I think she may have made a couple of albums or whatever. I don't really know her whole life history like that, but she's been around. Still a beautiful singer, so you can't take that away from her. So I guess the situation with this lady blows over, and now here she just pops up on the internet with this guy that she's known for 3 weeks, has her in this beautiful wedding gown next to this guy. and made the announcement on Instagram, I believe it was, that they got married. Well, this was only after 3 weeks. So, of course, everybody was like, ew, you know, giving her the side eye and stuff. So, anyway, they've been married for a little while and all of that. And now, I guess Fantasia has been doing promo in recent days and things like that. And so they were talking about her and her relationship. And she brings up the point of a woman being submissive in a marriage. And when I tell you, this thing has caused my DMs to swell, to blow up, because everybody is talking about it. And everybody is like, what do you think? What do you think? She's a pick me, blah, blah, blah. Well, never mind. Here, I'll just insert the clip of what she said.
Because we need more of that. You know what I mean? We need more men to stand up and lead the way. Most women are trying to be the leader. That's why you can't find a man. You can't be the king in the house. Fall back and be the queen and let your man lead the way. So I salute you for that.
What does that mean? You can't be a leader? Because a lot of women look at it like, no, you know, I could lead in my household. I could do this in my household. What does that mean?
That's not how it's supposed to be, and that's why we bump heads. And I feel like it's a generational thing. And we could talk, we can go real deep on that, and I don't need to start that, but it's a generational curse. And how society have placed our men. And women have to stand up and be the mother and the father and the provider. And so then now you are so bad, you can't be told nothing, that when the right man come, you lose him because you're trying to be the man. I was going to say,
right,
man.
Can we be equal?
Oh, of course. Because at the end of the day, I'm the neck, my man's the head. So he can't make any moves without his wife. You know what I mean? It all works together. You got to let the man be the head of the house. But it's a generational thing, and it's what we've been taught. To stand up, be strong, be the, you know what I mean? And a dude come and you, everything about you is like a man.
Sometimes we have no choice, though.
But that's what I was saying. It's
Right.
a generational thing, and that's what society has. They do that on purpose.
So you think women have to
Because
fall
if a
back?
woman, you know, if you're solid, you know who you are, you know what you bring to the table. A lot of times, money breaks up relationships. Money is the root of all evil. It is. So everybody's thinking about the wrong things instead of falling back and sitting and saying, "Let's play chess together. I got you. You got me. Let's go."
See what I mean? Now, if you are from the South, as Miss Fantasia is, if you grew up in the church, as we all know she does, clearly by that voice, then you have heard something like this or something similar. I know I did. You know, growing up in the South, being a preacher's kid, of course you've heard these things. So this is not something that is foreign to me. And so I basically agree with her. I mean, she is very on point as far as when she says that, you know, this is why you can't find a man, because you're trying to be the leader. I agree with her. I agree with her to the fullest extent. I mean, I understand that there are roles for men and for women to play. And just like I always say, men have a role and women have a role. I will say this to the ends of the earth. Women are meant to be the complement to a man and not his competition. I have been talking about this on this platform for so very long. So you all should be accustomed to hearing this, you know. But I think the reason why this is causing such a hoopla, such a, you know, a craze is because of the messenger. Miss Fantasia has not had the best of relationships. People are assuming that she is the breadwinner in her relationship. So why should she have to submit if she's making more money than him? So I think the messenger is the reason why there is such a problem with this message. I don't necessarily think that it is because of what she's saying. I think it's because of who is saying it. So I totally agree with what Fantasia had to say. I even made a remark on a post, and I said, what she is saying is pretty much on point. I was like, that's why there's such a lack in African American homes where men are concerned, because a lot of African American women don't understand how to be wives. I feel like the Caucasian community, the Latin community, the Asian community, all these other cultures and communities facilitate marriages. They help young girls understand what marriage is about and how it works. They help them understand how to treat a man and how to do that effectively. As far as I know, and as far as the knowledge that we are seeing on TV, and even in my regular everyday life, there is a lack of male heads, we'll call them, in the African American home. You don't really see this in the Asian culture. You don't really see this in the Latina culture, and you don't really see this in the Caucasian culture. Now, yes, let me clarify. There are instances where there is a single mother in all cultures, of course. But as we know, the African American culture leads the way in single mother homes, right? So then you have to ask yourself, why is that? Miss Fantasia asserts that it's because women don't allow their man to lead. They don't even think that is a possibility. And I would have to agree with her. So now, fast forward. Then her husband comes and he makes a post with her saying sort of a similar thing, but he puts his own wording onto it, or he puts his own take onto what she said at the Breakfast Club. And here's that clip.
Okay. So, we talk a lot. I just got home. He just got home. We were in New York for Fashion Week, and then he had to fly. Okay. So, we talk a lot. I just got home. He just got home. We were in New York for Fashion Week, and then he had to fly out to go speak at the prisons, and I had to continue to keep working. So I went up to the Breakfast Club, and I enjoyed it. And
proud of you too.
Thanks, babe. We were just wrapping it up and talking, and I was speaking. Yeah. So when I got back home, he had kind of said something that piggybacked off what I was saying, and I thought it was so dope coming from the male perspective that I felt like the male and the female should hear. So
here's the issue. Submission is supposed to be a beautiful song and dance between two lovers. What's happened is men have abused that power. Forgive me, they've abused that gift. And we have been misled to think that it's something where it's a dominant spirit and we own every decision, we dictate everything, we rule with an iron fist. First of all, that's not love. What happens is, in my marriage, let me not speak for everybody, my marriage, I submit daily to the Most High. I stay in my scriptures. I continue to feed myself with things that help me build my character, to reshape my perspective that was messed up in the streets and dealing with different propaganda and programming and things like that, so that I can come to my wife from a pure position. So when I do that and she sees me and she witnesses over time that it's an authentic demonstration, her heart is moved and softened and compelled to submit to me. Yeah. What does that look like? That doesn't mean that I dictate every decision. I don't walk around the house saying what we're going to spend, how we're going to do it. We talk and we build. And I consider everything that's on her heart, her perspective, her position, her philosophy. I'll carefully weave that into my philosophy to figure out what's the best move for this family, keeping all of that in mind. Now, the moment I start to step outside of righteousness and I start to move from a place of emotion instead of analytics, she has every right to snatch that back, because submission is a gift. When she sees me laying at the foot of the Father, she has no reason to withhold that from me. The problem is this: men are not found in positions of leadership handling it with integrity. How you gonna lead your wife if you can't balance a checkbook? If you don't know what's going on in the stock market? You don't have a sound understanding of the finances. You can't create a budget. You don't understand what's going on in the educational system in your community that's impacting your kids. In order to lead, you got to be so far ahead of your family that by the time they come to you with a situation or a problem, you've already dived into it, done your due diligence so that you can give leadership. You don't lead from your genitals. You lead from a gentle place of understanding. And the more she trusts, the more she can let go of things that she don't have to deal with and focus on the things that edify her. It ain't about money. We both hustlers. It's not about a dollar for dollar thing because we're one unit.
Yeah.
If I fall, she falls. If she falls, I fall. Submission is solely about trust.
I think when women hear the word submission, we're like, what?
Yeah.
Submitting. With my husband, like he said, to piggyback off what he just said, it was what he demonstrated. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't come in and say, all right, like he said, the budget is this for that, this is and the third. I watched how he did things. I watched how he budgeted. I watched him. And then I slowly became him. And I submitted in that.
Now.
Yeah, now I think I'm more frugal than him. And that's not even being like, gotta be frugal because we don't have it. It's just being smart. And the word, if you dig deep in the word with your partner, you'll start to see a lot of things that we're talking about. But yeah, I like that he broke that down because I'm a very strong woman. I like what I like. I'm very strong. But when it comes to allowing him to cover and lead this home, I sit back and allow him to do that, and it makes me better. Wow, that like.
Lead by example.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you want your wife to be humble, walk in humility. If you want your wife to forgive, you be quick to forgive. If you want your wife to consider, following you down a specific path, prove to her that you got the blueprint and that she's not following you to some unknown destination. My wife don't have to follow anything that she don't see me demonstrating.
Yeah.
So master the thing before you go out and try to teach it. It's like sometimes you see cats, as soon as they get a book and they read something, they start running, trying to teach people on it, but you haven't applied it and gone through the proving grounds of being able to master that information yourself. So leadership is a forward-thinking thing. And when you do that, women's natural instinct is going to be to trust, to be able to submit their hearts. But again, this ain't a dominant thing.
Nah.
And I want my wife cold as me because if something ever happens to me, she don't like having
You
that
always
conversation.
say that.
If something ever happens to me, she need to know how to get that bag. She need to understand where the money's at. She need to know how to ask the right questions. I ain't telling you to ask nobody nothing. You tell them what belongs to you. She can't do that if I'm controlling everything. So my wife needs to be a direct female reflection of the man that I am. Facts.
Come on now.
You come on.
I always said the wise woman once told me, the older women used to tell me, stop, boy.
What up?
The woman is the neck and the man is the head. And without the neck, the head can't move.
Two heads is just a head, but see how that works. See how that works.
So yeah. And I'm gonna end it with this. We ain't perfect and we ain't trying to be perfect. We still growing. And we just wanna share that with all those out there that's still growing and want.
And get clarity. Don't be trying to twist my wife's words up at the end of the day because I'm proud of her for standing.
They try to do that?
Man, whatever, Tom. At the end of the day, we want to make sure there's clarity to what she said and the understanding and be able to hear the force behind what she is saying so it don't get tangled and twisted. It ain't for everybody. Do your thing. But for women out there who truly desire that and men who want to step up to the call, we just want to take time out, make sure we bring clarity to our demonstration and hope that it's fruit for you and your lives. And watch how God bless. Straight like that.
Mine.
So, as you can see from his clip, Mr. Fantasia's husband is very articulate with his opinion on this topic. He had his little speech down to the letter, and he knew exactly what he was going to say, I'm sure, before this was even recorded, before this video was even made. And I'm sure she has heard this from his mouth long before any of us did. And it sounds very attractive. It sounds very alluring. It sounds like who wouldn't want something like this in their lives, right? And I'm going to insert some of the comments from the Pink Pen Academy that some of these ladies had to say. But as you can see, a lot of ladies feel like what he had to say was very scripted. They feel like what he had to say wasn't genuine. And they also feel like he may have, just been spilling game or, saying something that will just tickle the ears because they didn't feel like he was being authentic when he said this. Now, what I have to say about that is, yes, he does sound very scripted. He does sound very, suave and like he has game. And, maybe he did hear it from somebody else. But we're all saying things that we've heard from other people. Just like me on my channel, I always make reference to things that my dad told me or things that my dad taught me because I believe in them strongly. I believe that I never want to be a queen. I always want to be the princess. Now, it may sound scripted, but I truly, truly believe that. And so I regurgitate it and tell you guys. This could be the same thing that's going on with him. Maybe, he had an older mentor. Maybe he was part of the Nation of Islam or something. I don't know. But he does say things that in a way that feels very scripted or that he heard it from someone else. And so now he's saying it. Do I fault him for that? No. Now, what I did notice in this video, as one of the ladies in the Pink Print Academy mentioned, I did notice his body language and how he's all over her and always, very grabby and touchy and feely and very in a possessive type of way. So that, I don't know what that necessarily means, but the body language and all of that to me says more about their relationship than what he is actually saying, So do I think that either of them is wrong for what they had to say? No. Do I feel like they are off as far as this topic is concerned? No, I don't. I think they both have valid points. But I also feel like the source of these comments being Fantasia Barrino and her husband is the reason why people are like, you got to be kidding me. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way. Right? Because we don't even know who this guy is. You have these assault charges and all this stuff. And then you want to jump on, worldwide platforms and say, hey, I want my woman to submit. Of course, you're going to get a little, clap back for that, So I just really feel like the both of them are, maybe not the best messengers for this message, but I do wholeheartedly agree with and ascribe to what they're saying. Now, are you supposed to submit to any man? Absolutely not. You would be a fool to do that. It is completely stupid to submit to some, Joe Blow, or just because he fine, or, just because he wants to tell me all this wonderful things about the Bible and, I need to submit to my husband and, start quoting Bible scriptures that I should do it. Absolutely not. You have to have discernment in any relationship that you're in. You have to know the person you're submitting to. What am I submitting to? Are you leading me, down to the pits of hell? Where are we going as you're leading? You have to ask yourself relevant questions so that you understand what's going on in your relationship and how it applies to you. So I don't agree that 100% of women should submit to 100% of men. What I do know is that there can only be one head. There can only be one leader at a time. If you're the leader, then you are supposed to have a certain role. And if you're not the leader, then you're supposed to have a certain role. If two people try to be the leader, of course there's going to be some friction. Of course there's going to be some discord in whatever kind of relationship or situation that you find yourself in. But the message is very clear as far as they are concerned. The message is very relevant, and I think it is. It should be up for discussion. I really do think that there are valid points on both sides, the sides that agree with them and the sides that disagree with them. But I just feel like the reason why there's such a disagreement and such a pushback is because of who these people are and the message that they're sending kind of don't match, So those are my thoughts on Miss Fantasia and her relationship. If you want to hear the second part of this and you want to be a part of the Pink Print Academy, go to www.pinkprintacademy.com and you can join the Pink Print Academy, and we are going to be discussing this tonight in the Pajami Jam. I hope to see you guys there. If you want to follow me on all my social media platforms, you can follow me at I am Michaela Pink on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. You can find me on all these social platforms. So thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys are having a great day. And I hope this was helpful to you, or I hope you kind of got some insight. I think this may be a, Southern United States churchy kind of way of thinking, but I also think it is relevant. I also think that there are valid points on both sides. So let's continue this discussion in the Pink Print Academy, and I'll see you guys soon. I'm Michaela Pink, and that's what I think.